Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons to a 7th gen / 6th gen classic. So as y'all know, in my recent video I'm back. I introduced y'all to Blackout. I will show you Blackout's original casing, which is that. So this is old, new. Which reminds me, my cute little 120 gig drive needs to actually be put in a very safe spot because it's like an A grade quality drive or whatever. But a bat, a casing, a click wheel, whatnot. So that's basically its old housing. We're keeping the drive because the drive's good. And if I need to diagnose one, I know that has a song or two on it that I can easily just try. So this is Blackout, okay? I took Blackout apart, and it was a silver iPod, 120 gig, 6.5 gen, and rebuilt it as this pod. So black front plate, new click wheel, new center button, which reminds me I need to clean out my center button just a little bit. Black back, black dock, black hold switch, black center button, and that's what the mod was. I rebuilt it from that color stock, and I love it. It's a great device. I use it daily. I haven't charged it for 2 weeks now, and it is still on the same battery, which is amazing. I'm sorry if right now I'm looking for a tool, but of course I can't find it right now. Anyways, so Blackout, as I said before, has a and then that's external wise. It's all new externally, internally, new battery, and iFlash solo board in it. So now we'll get on to the pros and cons. Pros. We're going to start off with the pros. The pros is that the 6.5 gens, or 6/7 gens, and in between, they are much sleeker. They're metal front, metal back, and metal center button. Click wheel has to say plastic so you can maneuver through the click wheel. Let's scoop Blackout over here, because if it isn't, if it's metal, you see this is a copper ring. That's what enables the touch. This is a 5th gen, but it's the same principles on all the other ones. You have to, plastic is one that it can go through. That's why wireless charging phones have a little cutout on the back where the puck or the charging pad is, so it can charge wirelessly through the glass. Metal does not like that to happen. So we'll move these two back in the center. So pro number one, they are much sleeker than the 5th gens with since it's a metal front, metal back, they are just more seamless and whatnot. Second pro to them is that you can put quite a bit more storage into them than the 5th gens. 5th gens have a RAM limitation. All iPods do, but the most you can go without it being too buggy is a terabyte on these guys. 5th gens, I think you can put a terabyte in it, but it's not a great experience. It's better to go 512 or 256. So that is that. So pro number one, it's sleek design. Pro number two is its like upgradability in a way, which I'll get back to later because that's kind of a pro and a con. Pro number three is the OS. It is a much sleeker design, or more, how would you say it, more sleek in a way. It's like more refined and whatnot. Apple actually has learned from all their previous accounters of doing these iPods and made it like the best OS for these, in my opinion. Some others would disagree. So we'll move the casing out because that's part of the cons. But if we'll power on my 5th gen here, and you can see this is the OS. It is just simple. You have your main menus here, music, so you scroll, music. Then you have another sub-menus, and then you go there, and there's multiple sub-menus. And that's it. That's really the basis of the 5th gen OS and 5.5 gen OS. Now, for this lovely one, it's a little bright, so I'll put it right back in a moment. I'm just turning down the brightness so y'all can see it. Come on. Brightness. Turn it down to there. Alright. So, this is the 6th gen OS. It is much sleeker. We'll zoom in for you a little bit. Much sleeker. It still has its sub-menus, but then you have this, which is showing you your different audio, or not audio, your different albums, like some of the album artwork, just as a little slideshow. I think it's really cool. You go into music, you have all your normal stuff, and it has search. The 5th gen doesn't. Search just allows you to type in part of the song, which isn't the best experience, but for people who have huge libraries and want to look for a specific song quickly, it is much easier to go and search for the song and know the title of it, compared to having to scroll through thousands upon thousands of tracks. I don't really use it. But in music, there's something called cover flow. Cover flow. In a way, we've all seen this. It's on the touches, which I can show you on my 2nd gen, which is still going after 3 months of not being on. So you'll know what that looks like. We can zoom out. This one has all the same kind of stuff. Okay, it's touch, whatnot. It has music on it. Now if you turn it sideways, the resemblance of this. You scroll around in between your tracks. This one just is a little bit bigger, obviously, and that's a more refined version in a way. It's a black background instead of white, but both have reflections in them. But this here is basically this here. They are, even if you select it, this same kind of thing. You scroll through with a list of what's on there. Same thing here. It's all in there. It's basically, this is cover flow for the touches, cover flow for these guys. So the OS is more refined and whatnot to make it a much smoother experience compared to the older iPods. They're newer. That's one of the biggest things. They're newer. They're just a newer device, and it's the last device Apple made. Unless Apple decides to do an anniversary edition, which Apple, if an Apple employee is watching, which I really doubt, please, let's make a anniversary edition iPod. And if you want ideas, join our iPod community, which I'm going to get at the end of this video because I have an announcement for y'all. But it's a lot newer of a device. The 7th gen is the last device, and if I'm correct, mine was made in 2008. They stopped production because they say we had a limited hard drive thing. That could be true, but a lot of us suggest that it was more that the sales were going down because the touch took over the sales basically, and it wasn't a device everyone was getting all the time now. So now, now we'll get into the cons, and it's different, no doubt. There's pros and cons to both devices, or all of these devices. The biggest con is opening these things up. Back to upgradability. Yes, these things can do what the 5th gens can. Battery replacement, click wheel, front plate, back plate, headphone jack replacement, motherboard replacement, screens. You can flash mod them with iFlash boards of whatever your choosing is. There are a lot of upgrade path options for these devices, but these devices are very, very difficult to open. Mine I can open up pretty easily because since it's an aftermarket case and aftermarket front plate, they don't quite have the level of precision that these the original housings do and whatnot. But I can show you, I've mounted up my case, this old case, pretty badly, but I can still show it to you. So along this side, or along all of these sides, there are clips, or areas that these have to get, areas that clips in the casing clip into. So this is how the iPod is held together. The holes are for screws, screwing things into it, and right here, these are broken clips. These clips are very easy to bend. The ones on the bottom and whatnot are much easier to bend compared to the top ones. These guys, this one's bent, this one's bent. I'm pretty sure all of these are bent, but that's the front plate. Now, you think that might not be an issue. Like with this one, it's plastic clips, since it's a plastic front plate. And it's pretty easy. Like, you only really have to do one corner. I mean, our EO Elite Obsolete Electronics, he opened up the iPod 5th generation without any tools, period, whatsoever. No tools. Now, a 7th gen, that's almost impossible. Due to the fact that, come on, focus. Right here, 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 and here, along this edge, same over here, and up here and down here are what are metal clips. These are the rails that everything on this pod connects to the front plate. I don't have the lock switch because it broke. Oopsies. But you can kind of see that's a little wavy. That's because I bent it while trying to open it. This was an unopened iPod when I got it. Never opened before. Battery was bad. That's why I got it for a good deal. But these are spot welded into place. All these rails are spot welded into place. So they are a nightmare to open because, I mean, okay, they are spot welded into place, which means that they are welded to this frame and they are very, very difficult to remove. Now, if you don't unleash these clips with your tool properly, it will bend these clips out, and what DangPod calls it, it's called nightmare mode, where it's almost impossible to open it because you're going to scratch up the side so badly, whatnot, and these little clips down here bend up, 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 and then it's very, very, very difficult to open. So, opening these things is one of the biggest cons, and that's one of the reasons that so many newcomers to this hobby they kind of stay away from these 7th gens because of this. They are so difficult to open that I almost cut myself opening mine. They are very difficult to open. So for people who are new to the hobby and opening up a pod for the first time and modding one for their own, oops, didn't want to do that. We recommend the 5th gens, because I can show you if I can find my tool. 5th gens are stupid easy to open. So if you give me a moment, I need to find it. I will show you on camera just how easy these are to open. I won't be opening up Blackout because they are so hard to open. Here, I'm just going to get it in, go down, or you stick it in the side, in between these gaps, go down just a little bit, and pry up. And plastic is way more forgiving. See, it's already opening up, and you just do that all the way around. That is how you open these. That's how easy these guys are to open. These, on the other hand, are not that easy. They are very difficult. So that's the biggest con about these, and that's really the only con, is how difficult Apple made these to put together. I bet the engineers there had a hard time opening these up to do hard drive replacements and screen replacements and whatnot. They are very, very difficult to open, and that's why it scares so many newcomers away. But, as a recap, our three main pros is its sleek design, its sleek new OS, and its overall new design. Like, it is much newer. You can actually still find these in the box. They're way more common in boxes, still outrageously priced, but way more common in boxes compared to 5th gens or older generations. They're harder to find not open. And these are still new in a way. Yes, they might be what? If they stopped production in 2014, that makes them 7 years old. So they are an old device, no doubt. But they are newer than this guy. Or this guy. Okay? They are newer than that. And it shows it by its OS, its smoothness through the OS, because of its RAM and whatnot. And it's great. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to build one. It's also, when you're building one, it's like an achievement. You're like, yes, I opened up a 7th gen. I modded it by myself. No help from anyone. And that's kind of a big deal. And it's when a newcomer says, yeah, my first pod was modding a 7th gen. We congratulate them because we know how difficult they are to open. So that's really it for this video. One last thing before I get to our announcement is you can kind of see its brother or resemblance. These came out at the same time, actually. You can see that this has the same kind of metal design to this guy. If I had a graphite one, you could see that, but this is my first generation touch. $15 for this. I'm not going to complain. But let's get to the announcement I have for y'all. Me and my friend, he is the admin in it, we released a server. It's called the let me look real quick so I don't give you false information. It is the iPodGuides YouTube server. Right now, we only have 9 members. Sadly, there's only 15 subscribers. To y'all who are watching this, please just join the server. We're welcome to anybody who's in there. If you are watching this and you have an iPod, I have one person on tech support here, and right now he's the only one I really trust for tech support. If you need basic iPod help, we can help you here. But if you need more major iPod issue help or whatnot, like solving issues with iPod touches, certain things not working on certain devices, we're going to recommend you to our main iPod server. And that's the same server I've recommended to y'all before. It is all the members in my server right now are actually, all the members are actually in that one too. So we're all from the same server. We're all in there, and we're having a great time. We've set up the server so we have 2 voice chats, a music chat so we can play music. We have the chat, iPod help, where tech support will be, and me and Muddy, or that's his name, will be every now and then. Video ideas, if y'all want to suggest ideas to me, and eventually my partner, once he does get in this chat or server, new upcoming videos, if you sign up for that, it will ping you when I am releasing a new video. Announcements, welcome, introduction, and self-rules. Self-rules is where if you have an iPod or device, you can tell us what OS you use, if you use Rockbox or stock iPod OS, or if you are a Windows, Mac, Linux person, and that's where you can do that. And that is our server, so hopefully y'all can come join us on there and we'll have a great time. Thank you for watching today's video. I'm uploading this a day or two later, but stay tuned for next week's video and we'll see you then. See ya.